My boyfriend's ex is becoming a problem, and he's oblivious to it.
The classic boyfriend's ex is a problem conundrum.
My boyfriend and I have been together for 2 years. I love him so much, and I see a future where I'm married to him one day. He's such an amazing person, but is so oblivious. It's funny sometimes, frustrating other times, but sometimes just makes me really sad. I don't blame him for his obliviousness. It's just his nature. His parents and siblings are all the same way. He just doesn't get things.
It's the classic scorpion and the frog. It's simply my nature.
It's just his nature. That would be really... If I had a partner and they were talking about me this way, they were like, they're just oblivious. It's just their nature. I'd be like super offended. That said, he's not stupid once he figures things out. He's absolutely brilliant. But getting him to figure things out is tough. By the way, this comes from Simple Accountant, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. There are problems in our relationship. Most of them minor, one of them very major. He's very aware of them. That's surprising. He makes it very clear how sorry he is when they come up, but he just doesn't understand why these things are problems and usually can't come to the conclusion of how to solve them without me spelling it right out for him and telling him what he needs to do. I really hate doing that. I often feel like I'm being controlling or guilting or manipulating him into doing things that he should already know how to do. So my boyfriend has survived a couple attempts through severe depression. He still suffers from depression, but it's amazing how much better he's doing today. This was before he met me, and he was in a long-term relationship when they occurred. His ex-girlfriend saved his life on multiple occasions, and for that, I'm so grateful. And it seems like that's kind of referring to self-harm, so I am going to put a trigger warning for self-harm for this episode. That said, I feel bad saying this, but that's just what any person who has any degree of morals at all does for something. I don't think that makes someone a great person. In fact, his ex is not a good person at all. My boyfriend feels that he's in some sort of life debt to her, and for that, will do anything to avoid upsetting her. This is a problem because our relationship upsets her. My boyfriend's ex is still in love with him. Yikes. All these years later, and constantly needs to be consoled over the fact that my boyfriend is now with me. He's consoling her? They all hang out with their mutual group of friends together sometimes, and I've never been invited. It's not even the ex that makes the call, so my boyfriend says, and I trust him, but usually they're mutual friends on account of the ex's feelings. One time, it was even my boyfriend making the call, which hurt. She is constantly texting him, telling him what a terrible person he is for being happy with me, trying to get him alone, and just seemingly trying to get him to leave me for her. My boyfriend understands that I take issue with this, but the way he looks at it is just so nonsensical to me. His logic is that she saved his life years ago, and therefore he owes it to her to be there for her and to help her get over him.
I mean, how does that make zero sense to you, though? Like, let's be honest. It makes a little bit of sense, right? If she thinks she saved his life.
I think that you can approach this in a different way. Well, I think that you don't have to be like, you don't know her anything. I think that you need to be like, she's not going to get over you if you keep hanging out with her. That's not how you get over someone.
Right. Logically, that makes perfect sense.
I've explained that going to hang out with her isn't doing anything about her feelings and is probably making it worse, but he doesn't see that at all. Okay, so you did try. Okay. The ex has no one else to talk to about her problems or her successes, so my boyfriend feels he has an obligation to talk her through her issues and be there to watch her succeed. It's weird. He doesn't understand how inappropriate it is to be hanging out with his ex who still loves him, especially when they hang out without me. It's important to note that as far as I'm aware, they have never hung out, just the two of them, at any point in our relationship. A few months ago, I had enough. The ex was calling my boyfriend all day, crying about how terrible it is that he's clearly happier with me.
See now, that's when you go, okay, well, I value my current relationship more than your feelings about my current relationship, so I can't entertain this. I can't help you.
Asking him how he can be so happy when she's so sad. Guilting him about how she was always there for him and that he needs to be there for her. I told my boyfriend that he needed to tell her to F off and be done with it. She's manipulating him and it's affecting our relationship very negatively. His response was that I have the wrong idea. She's just going through a hard time. She's truly happy for us and really wants to be friends with me. He told me that she isn't smart enough to manipulate someone. Seems like two apples from two separate trees fall pretty close together. My boyfriend says that the ex will go away eventually. He just needs to put up with her and be there for her for the time being. It's like holding a leash with a dog attached to it and like pulling it along and be like, the dog will go away eventually.
Yeah, but it's on
But you're holding a leash.
You're taking the dog with you.
Cutting her off is not an option to him because he feels it would risk their friend group. I don't understand how he doesn't get that he needs to cut her off. I don't want to be that controlling girlfriend who makes her boyfriend cut off his ex. I also don't want my boyfriend to resent me for being heartless or something. I honestly don't even know how he'd respond. The idea of cutting off someone who has been there for him through such a tough time is just a completely foreign concept to him. He is actually bewildered at the idea that people cut off toxic exes. What can I do here? I love my boyfriend so much. I want to make this work. When the ex isn't a problem, we have such an amazing relationship. However, I'm not stupid, and I'm not going to try and force a doomed relationship to work if that ends up being the case. It's probably important to mention that the ex hasn't been a problem in about a month. And before that, she was quiet for a month and a bit as well. That said, she's not been gone. She still messages him and such. She just hasn't been having fits or being noticeably manipulative. Obviously, I need to talk to my boyfriend about all of this, but should I bring it up on my own or wait to see if the ex causes a problem again? And there is an update, but what do you think?
100% bring it up.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Look.
Just
take all the stuff that's outside of you and your partner out of the equation. Take her out of the equation. What do you want out of your partnership, right? Do you want somebody who respects your relationship over relationships or friendships with others, regardless of their context? Like, do you feel like you need to be put above all the others? Because if you do and he's not doing that, then you need to have that conversation. And if he's not going to change his ways, and that's how you feel, then you should, respectfully walk away.
Yeah, I think it's not obliviousness, because you've had the conversations with him. You've made him aware that you're uncomfortable with this.
Yeah.
So at this point, he's just willfully ignoring you. Regardless of whether or not he's oblivious to her motives, doesn't really matter because he's aware of your thoughts and feelings on the situation.
That's a great point.
Yeah. But there is an update. Hey, Reddit. To summarize my original post and what has been happening. My boyfriend and I have been together for 2 years, and it's the best relationship I've ever been in by a long shot. His ex is still in his life as they have both been in the same friend group since they were little kids. The ex is still in love with him and is constantly crying to him about that. She's obviously not a fan of me for that reason, and it's led to me not being invited to events with my boyfriend's friends if the ex is there. His ex did save his life a couple times, which I'm very grateful for, but he now feels that he owes her some sort of life debt and is obligated not to make her upset.
Which is valid and very complicated, but also not something OP has to necessarily work through.
Yeah, agreed.
That's his thing.
He spends a lot of time consoling her over the phone when she's sad. He was totally oblivious to the issues. He doesn't believe that she's still in love with him and thinks that she's just clinging to him because she's sad and lonely. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It really doesn't matter. Your partner's upset. When I would explain my issues with the relationship, he'd be very sympathetic to me and genuinely want to remedy the situation. But he just could not comprehend that she was still in love with him, trying to make him feel bad about being with me and trying to get him back. It was just ridiculous to him that she would do that. Because of this, the ways he should have remedied many of these situations just were not apparent to him at all.
Oh, he's just is he really just a little golden retriever guy? He's like, well, she wouldn't do that. She's literally going I hate that you're happy with her. You should be happy with me.
Yeah,
and he's
crazy.
like, oh, she's just working through it. She's really happy for us.
I just don't understand. Again, it really doesn't matter if she is in love with him or not. That's not the problem here.
it's complicated to a point, but it should get real not complicated when your current partner goes, hey, I'm hating this.
I'm hating this.
It should be like very clear what you do after that.
Yeah. A while back, my boyfriend's ex gave a speech for a nonprofit that she is involved in. This is when I found out that the nonprofit she's involved in is the same nonprofit I'm involved in.
Oh.
My boyfriend had helped her write this speech after they had broken up already, so she really wanted him there. Naturally, her ex said she didn't want me there. It wasn't something I would have gone to anyway because it was only for certain people in the organization. When she said this, my boyfriend told me about it because that upset him. He told me he'd skip it if I wanted him to, but I told him to go, as he did have a part in writing the speech and I didn't want to be controlling. Looking back, I kind of wish I asked him not to go. My original post has some great advice come in, and my biggest takeaway is that I need to be more assertive and show my boyfriend that his ex and the problems she brought weren't minor problems to me, but really serious issues that he absolutely needed to address and address properly.
Oh, we hadn't done that?
His ex hasn't been a problem in a few months now. She still expects him to console her, and he does to a much lesser degree, but he is a lot more serious about boundaries with her now and doesn't put up with her trying to make him feel bad about being with me or whatsoever. Shortly before I had this talk with him, my boyfriend had gone to a party his friend's girlfriend was hosting. The ex was there, and I wasn't invited, I'm assuming, due to the ex. As usual, my boyfriend was totally oblivious to why I might take issue with that. I was really upset about it and was planning to say something, but I never brought it up because after we had our talk, he told me he'd never go to a party without inviting me again. Now to today. I'm really not sure what to do if this becomes an issue again. That nonprofit my boyfriend's ex gave a speech for, she actually has been honored for it at an event next weekend. A lot of people are being honored for different things, including myself for a project I ran. I'm unable to go to this event, unfortunately, due to a work obligation. My boyfriend wouldn't be going because he'd need to be the guest of someone involved in the organization. This might be me worrying over nothing, but I really think that his ex is going to invite him as her guest because he helped her so much with the speech. I would be so upset if he decided to go, but I'm not even sure if that's reasonable. Does it make sense for him to go to the event when I can't? To see his ex being honored for a speech he helped write? I don't even know. I feel like that's a deal breaker, but I love him so much. I can't bear the thought of ending things with him. I'm just not willing to let myself be disrespected. I'm not even sure if that's disrespectful.
Oh, it is.
By the way, you know what's never disrespectful? Listening to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search OKOP Storytime.
That's right. I mean, it could be disrespectful if you listen to them and go, ugh, gross. Ew, I hate it. But we know you won't.
Yeah.
We know you'd never do that.
I think the important thing here is that he did promise to never go to a place without inviting you. And I don't know if he meant that in a way of like, I will invite you, and if you can't make it, I'll still go. But at least I've invited you, or I'll never go to a place that, you know, you can't go to. I'm not quite sure what he meant there.
Yeah, I think it really needs to.
But I think you need to like figure what that means to you. Like, what do you mean that? Do you mean that he can never go somewhere that you can't go? Not saying that you do. Do you mean that he at least needs to invite you to something? Do you just not want him to go to events where his ex is at? You have to figure out what you want and tell him that. And then if he says, I'm going to do it anyway, maybe you guys aren't a fit.
It should be a basic principle that, like, your ex-girlfriend saying that I hate that you're happy with another woman, like, isn't like she's just working through some stuff. It's like, she probably shouldn't be working through it with you.
Yeah.
The ex-boyfriend, my guy. So
agreed.
Let a professional take over that responsibility. It's not yours.
Secondly, at the end of this month, one of his friends will be having a going away party. It will be all of his old friends there, including his ex. My boyfriend hasn't mentioned us going. He's only mentioned the party itself. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and assume that he'll bring me. But after being left out because of the ex before, I don't even know. What if he's told by the party host he can't bring me? Should I expect him to not go? Yeah, I think that if a party host is telling him that he can't bring his girlfriend of 2 years to something, that's disrespectful. Why would you even want to go to the party?
Right. I can't imagine people are really doing that either.
I would hope not.
It sounds like nonsense.
I don't want him to miss his friend's going away party, but he promised me he always would bring me to his friends' parties. I really, really don't want this relationship to end. I will do everything I can to make it work, but I'm not going to deal with disrespect and broken promises. At the same time, my boyfriend can be so oblivious sometimes and might not even realize what he's doing is hurting me. I also don't want to hold him to his promises to a crazy degree. Like if the host of the going away party says I can't come, but he has a totally valid reason that doesn't have anything to do with the ex, would he still be in the wrong for going? Honestly, yeah, I think if the host of the party says you can't come, he would be in the wrong for going because they're disrespecting his relationship.
Yeah,
Why would he even want to go to that party?
At some point, he would have to go, who do you want, me or my ex? If she can't handle the fact that I have a girlfriend, that's not on my girlfriend.
Exactly. How do I make sure my boyfriend is respecting boundaries and me while making sure I don't become a crazy girlfriend? Communication.
Well, no, you've got a crazy boyfriend.
Yeah, crazy boyfriend.
That's the thing. It's why we're so worried about optics.
Yeah.
Forget the optics. What do you feel? What do you want?
What do you feel?
Just base all of it off of that.
Your boyfriend's not listening to you. He's not oblivious. He just isn't listening.
My boyfriend opened a credit card under my name without asking permission.
Jail.
A literal jail. My boyfriend John and I met at a seasonal position just over 3 years ago, and when I went to finish my studies in college after my contract was over, he moved in with me. By the way, this comes from user I can't think of a name. Woo! And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. My parents were supporting me a bit, and I was working a couple jobs at my university along with going to school. So when John struggled to find a job, as the town we lived in was notorious for having a terrible job market, I didn't worry too much. He worked a part-time job at Target for a couple months and sold a lot of his belongings to help pay the bills. Soon, John began bouncing from job to job, either them letting him go because they were overstaffed, or he would become extremely depressed because he felt all he was doing with his life was playing catch-up on bills and washing dishes. I understood his feelings and sympathized because I've had depression almost all my life. So I didn't mind supporting us, even though I was extremely stressed and stretched out. I would try to help him find a job or try and help him volunteer somewhere to help with his depressed feelings, but he didn't want to volunteer because he said he needed to get paid to support us, but the jobs just weren't hiring. Fast forward to my last semester of college, I found out I was pregnant and couldn't keep the baby because I wasn't ready by any means, and my parents threatened me if I got pregnant in college with various cruel words.
Great parenting.
Props to A. Good job, parents.
Nice.
That's the best way to keep someone from getting pregnant is to make them as afraid of it as possible.
Wow.
I struggled thoroughly with my depression because I really wanted a baby and just knew it wasn't time. John did the same because all he ever wanted was to be a father. But I thought we could band together and work through it. I got a really good job and was about to get my degree. He had just left a job, but we were doing okay. Struggling financially and not always eating dinner, but no worse than a lot of my friends who were supporting themselves as well. Fast forward again about 3 months, and I find out about a month after my pregnancy ended, John had taken out a credit card in my name and spent money with it.
What?
What?
No.
I confronted him.
Good.
After I called my credit card agency.
Nice.
He did a credit card off my main credit card, which I didn't know. Oh, I don't know how that works. Ask Capital One. I called them to figure out why I was being charged 2 monthly fees and found out he had taken it out, and by recognizing the email he used to make an account. He denied it at first, but finally broke down and said he really wanted to help me build my credit. Finances were a big factor on not having a child. And he was going to pay the bill once he was working again?
Wait. He's like, no, babe. I have to tell you, I took out a credit card in your name because I wanted to help you build your credit.
I wanted to give you a big, sparkly, shiny 800.
Your credit score is at 650, and I just thought it could go up.
I was furious, and I told him so. He explained he doesn't actually know how credit cards really work.
Yeah,
Go figure.
That's pretty obvious, my friend.
He was raised in foster care, which is, I guess, the excuse he gave to understand,
He's
not
like,
understand
I don't
credit, which doesn't make sense.
Because I was raised in foster care.
I told him to never pull this stunt again and that he was on thin ice. After a few weeks, I cooled down and I told him if he did anything else like this, it was time to let me know so we could deal with it. I told him I would be mad, but I would rather he tell me right now so we can work with it and move on. He said no, so we moved on.
I think you did something else.
I have a feeling.
Dude, I would have checked I would have gone to my bank and said, like, is there any suspicious activity on anything?
So John ended up getting another job and said he would help me pay off a credit card. So I said sure and was very excited that I was getting help paying bills and proud that he was helping me. It turns out that wasn't the case, and the bills were not getting paid on this credit card, and he had been using it, and it was overdue and maxed out. I didn't monitor anything on it because I trusted him, which is stupid.
Yeah.
I confronted him over it and said, I don't know how to handle this anymore. He apologized and so on and so forth. Well, by then, a bunch of outside factors were affecting us. We were living with a self-absorbed roommate who was stealing my things and overcharging us for rent, and I was dealing with a lot of past trauma that suddenly surged into the forefront of my life. So I was really just at the end of my rope. We packed up and moved out to do some seasonal work again just to try and get everything settled. Girl, this is when you leave.
This is when you leave.
That's when you leave. You said, hey, don't ever do anything like this again. You're on thin ice. And that's that.
And then that's it.
He did it again. Now he should have fallen through that ice.
And also he lied to you.
Right. It's time to stand on business.
Stand on business.
If you renege on this, you're just teaching him he can get away with whatever he wants. I told John that now that we're both employed, I needed him to help me pay back those bills, that these were his fault as much as mine, which, no, they were way more his fault than yours because you were not responsible for that.
Yeah, they were
What are you
just
talking
his
about?
fault. They're just in your name.
Right. He needs to help me clean up the mess he made. He broke down and said he's working as hard as he can and we're getting paid so little and that he feels all I want from him is money.
You keep stealing her money.
Not even stealing her money. You're stealing her credit.
You're stealing her
it's
identity.
not even money. It's money you don't have that she will owe. Do you think a credit card is just free money?
Is money.
I thought this was the free plastic rectangle.
This guy is oblivious.
Fool. Did you go to the foster care system where they have a machine that sucks the brain out of your head?
Yeah.
And that you can't think anymore? What? So my idiot boyfriend thinks all I want from him is money. I tried to tell him that's not the case. I'm just sick of feeling like I handle all the finances and that he spent money that was under my name while I had to take the responsibility to pay it back. I told him I felt like he was using me, and he explained that he wouldn't have sold almost all his possessions if he was using me, and he's doing the best he can to save up and pay things back. Committing credit card fraud is not doing your best.
No, it's doing your worst.
He hasn't paid things back. And I get yelled at if I do because we have to save to see my family. They've demanded it, then the plane ticket has already been purchased, and we have to save to move somewhere after this seasonal job ends. But I'm getting pestered by collectors constantly, and my credit score is not good. I explained that I feel my credit score is important to moving and making a new life because housing and jobs take that into consideration. And he says I'm stressing too much. Girl, you just leave this guy.
Yeah, he sucks. I'm like literally stealing stuff from you.
I don't feel like I'm stressing too much, but I have a history of being extremely hard on myself and demanding perfection. I'm worried I'm just demanding perfection of him too. I can honestly see he's trying and working extremely hard, but I feel like he could be doing more. And every time I bring it up, he gets so sad because he can tell it's hurting me.
That's crazy. You're giving him way too much credit.
He has like reverse Stockholm syndrome or something.
Like,
or like
I'm
you do.
trying so hard. And you're like, I feel so bad because I'm being so hard on him. I mean, like, I get that he's trying. Even after he stole my credit, he's still trying.
Yeah, not to mention he's committed financial fraud against you.
Financial fraud.
You should press charges against him and break up with him. I'm worried he's trying to fix it and I don't see it because I only understand one way of fixing this, and that's paying everything off. Whereas he sees fixing it as saving up and making sure we don't have to go into debt anymore. Am I being too hard on him or too impatient with trying to repair things financially, or am I just ignoring red flags because I love the bugger to death? And there's an update.
You're
We've already said to
ignoring
run.
red flags left and right, girl. Pay attention to those red flags because they're only getting redder.
Update. Thank you all for the thoughts and insight. I guess I told a lot of information without some other things I did. After I found out about the initial credit card stuff, I canceled those cards immediately and cut them up after confronting John and taking them. I started studying my credit reports and such for the first time and have been trying to budget. We live in a place that takes rent and food out of our paychecks, so those bills are not a worry currently. And by the way, you can worry about listening to full episodes with stories just like this on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts. Wherever you listen to podcasts, all you got to do is search OK Storytime. And then you can listen to over 2,000 episodes. Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
Wow, wow, wow.
Wow, wow, wee wah.
This relationship cannot continue.
Like, what would have to happen? Would he have to
Pay off any of the loans?
Steal cash? Like, what would he have to do to get you to see that you should leave? Steal jewelry? Like, he's stolen from you. Like, he stole your identity.
Refuses
and gave
to pay
you
off
debt. That is the same thing as stealing money from you.
Yes.
And he goes, relax. Relax, babe. Make him face the consequences. Don't just break up with him. Make him face the consequences of criming you.
He's
crimed you. Crimed you a river. Let's finish this story. I spoke to him last night and told him I felt he was manipulating me to get away with this, and he took it very well. There were no tears and no yelling. We spoke like adults. I told him that a lot of things he was saying felt like utter BS around those credit cards, and he explained he's an idiot about credit and has gone his whole life without knowing anything about it. This is the only bad thing he's done, and it wasn't out of spite. That may sound stupid to some of you, but it's clear to me, and that's why I'm still here. We're working on a lot of financial plans, and when we live in civilization again, I'm going to look into getting both of us into financial counseling and probably regular counseling. It's hard to know total situations without knowing both parties. And accurate.
Yeah.
But I'm deeply grateful for those of you who opened your minds and hearts on this situation and reached out to me. It really means a lot.
Well, I don't know. We don't know your relationship, I guess. We only know what you told us, and you told us he frauded you. So,
of course, every moment of your relationship is not going to be your boyfriend committing fraud against you.
This is true.
But we can't let the good times,
allow us to forget that he frauded.
Right,
he committed the fraud. The big fraud.
It's the bank robber. The bank robber walks into the bank dressed like a bank robber, and you can go into the vault, and he takes the money, and you go, what's up with that? He goes, I don't know, I didn't mean to.
It's just my nature.
I just don't know how to take money out of the bank the right way. I don't know. And you go, okay, well, next time you come in, you get a withdrawal slip and you get some money out of the bank, and it's okay. Next time he comes in, he has a bigger bag. He goes into the vault. He takes even more money, and he goes,
I just don't understand.
You know me.
I was raised in the foster care system.
I was raised in the foster care system. I'm a U.S. Marshal. But yeah, it's have your line, know when it's crossed, and if it goes there, you got to break up with her.
My girlfriend wanted me to move out, so I broke up with her.
Well, that's a decision.
So my significant other and I were immediately attracted to one another. We met 6 years ago, and I moved in with her only after a couple of months. I knew what I was getting into. She owned a condo that she purchased with her ex, who had left her probably about a year prior, and she was stuck with a poor mortgage rate and was struggling to chip away at about $10,000 in credit card debt. By the way, this comes from Stray Canoe, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, I don't mind at all that I would be a great help to her financially because we both got along so well from day one. I'm eccentric, read introvert, emotionally complicated, not always the easiest person to get along with. And I value the fact that she saw past my weird exterior to the kind, loving, and generous person that I am when given the chance to open up in a comfortable environment.
So, that's usually, kind of just partnership?
I guess so. I didn't feel taken advantage of. The affectionate feelings we had were, and still are, mutual and genuine. That always formed the core of the life we share. As the years went by, we discovered things about each other that caused problems, as one would expect, for the most part. We were a living embodiment of the serenity prayer. We learned to accept things about one another I am emotionally needy sometimes. She kind of sucks at household and managing finances. We changed things that we could. My neediness restricted her socially, so I learned to trust her, not to begrudge her time with her friends. She tries her best to be tidy and prudent with her cash flow and tries to meet my emotional needs in a healthy, non-dysfunctional, disabling way. And our wisdom grew slowly but surely. Through it all, our affection for and commitment towards one another won out other conflicts. Okay, this seems to be pretty good.
We're
so far.
inching in the right direction.
Teaming up allowed us to tackle her crappy financial situation. It took some time, but we got rid of the credit card debt, and we have managed to keep the condo. The thing is, even though we teamed up, we both wanted independent finances, so we have kept our separate bank accounts. We split expenses, not quite evenly. I cover food, internet, entertainment, car payments, while she shoulders the responsibilities for handling the overpriced mortgage payments, home insurance, and condo fees because she sees it as her mess. That's true. It is also her condo. I know that you're like living in there with her. She's taking on more of it, and it is her condo. It seems kind of fair, right? Should he chip in on the condo mortgage payments if he's living there?
I mean, yeah, but I mean, is it going to be like a split asset? Like, are you guys how far are you guys going with that?
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, if you want to do something, like it should definitely be a written agreement.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't be like iron it out for real if you're going to do it.
She wouldn't let me sign on the mortgage or even sit in when she had it renewed, even though I just wanted to learn the process. I've never had a mortgage myself. Unfortunately, she still misses the occasional payment due to her habit of spending most of her extra money rather than saving it, and I've had to bail her out. So now he's kind of helping out.
I just love the way that's phrased. Like, unfortunately, due to circumstances completely out of our control, she is constantly spending all of her money.
Dang. You'll see, this is unfair because I'm able to save a good amount of money because I was covering fewer expenses, but she still insists on paying me back, even if it takes a few months. This has been the arrangement all this time, and so far, it has worked itself out despite being somewhat unbalanced. As for the non-financial aspect, our bond, while a little less passionate than when we first met, is still strong. Less strong than I believe. More on that to come. We are still affectionate and intimate and spend lots of time and our spare time together. But we have separate hobbies and groups of friends, which gives us some breathing room. Admittedly, both of our lives are in a bit of a rut. I've been in the same job since we met, ordered desk clerk at a building supply company with minimal chance for advancement though I am toying with the idea of becoming machinist. I play bass, sing an occasional rock band once a week with occasional performances. She is a clothing store manager, advancing slowly but surely towards becoming a district manager. But she does little in her spare time but hang out at home with me, watch TV, see friends occasionally, and mess around with the odd craft project. Okay, seems like a regular couple.
We're finding balance.
Both of our jobs are stressful, and I have started drinking moderate amounts almost every day in order to relax and unwind when I get home, while she barely drinks at all.
That's not a good coping mechanism, my guy. Let's not do that.
I don't get much exercise, so I put on some weight. But for the most part, she hasn't put any pressure on me to change my lifestyle. I believe we are both sufficiently content. That changed last night. When she was over at her best friend's house, her friend being the wife of a married couple, while I was at home chilling, browsing Reddit, and getting ready for bed, I texted her around midnight. When I was expecting her to come home, asking whether she would still drive to me to work the next day because my car was in the shop. But to my surprise, her phone was off. Okay, whatever, I said to myself. They're probably just having a good time, and she forgot to plug her phone in. I fought the urge to be my old needy self and text her friend to ask my significant other to call me. But as the minutes turned into an hour, I became increasingly nervous since this wasn't like her at all. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm thinking cheating, but like she probably just has her phone not on. You? Any thoughts?
I mean, like, I'll be a worrier guy. So if it comes down to the point where I'm like, I've expected to hear from you and I haven't, I'm not gonna be like, ooh, am I being clingy? I'm gonna be like, hey, you're alive, right?
Okay,
And
you're
just doing
checking about safety.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just want to make sure okay.
Yeah.
And then if you don't want to talk to me, all right, okay.
She finally texted me back, saying she was surprised I was still up and giving me some cryptic response about what they were up to. This freaked me out for one very large reason. The friend that she was visiting and this friend's husband both had hinted in the past that they didn't think my significant other and I were right for each other. I never put much thought to it since they are very different people from us, and neither of them understand or even know me particularly well. And I thought my significant other also took their perspective with a grain of salt. Apparently not. Ooh, after a few drinks and it gets late at night, you start. Oh yeah, that sounds about right.
Start letting the truth fly.
Start letting influences hit. Finally, at 2 a.m., she called me. I was wide awake and a nervous wreck. I was initially very upset about her lateness, but I calmed down and asked what she had been up to. She confirmed that what I had feared was in fact not paranoia, and it was actually quite well founded. She even dropped the proverbial bomb. She said that she had been dissatisfied for some time and was looking at scenarios that would solve the problems that she perceived. I was confused at first because she was beating around the bush with her choice of words. But when she made it home, I questioned what she really meant, and the real story came out. The only scenario that she thought would be helpful for me was to move out. Out of 14 trillion, 500 billion, 83 million, 400,001.
I mean, like, she's not wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe, like, you guys moved in real quick, and it's hard to, it can be difficult to, like, take a perceived step back in a relationship where it's like, well, we moved in together and it failed, so now what? Did we fail?
Yeah.
But it can just be like you did it too early, maybe.
I would say that.
But
Thought process behind moving in, it's moving in, proposing, and then married, and then, on from there. But
yeah, I feel like move in and then undoing that is okay, but it's like, it's not like being like, let's get engaged, and then it's like, okay, just kidding, let's unengage. I feel like that's like you're probably not making it back from that. But
moving in together and being like, we should move out.
If it's done in the right way, you could do it. But if it's emotionally charged at all, it's probably going to be like the beginning of the end.
She didn't say break up. In fact, it seems she wants to separate just for a while so she can work some things out for herself. I was very emotional at first. I'm a person who is most comfortable with a partner I can live and share a bed with every night. I couldn't imagine that our relationship could survive a separation, but I calmed myself down and listened very carefully to the reasons she wanted to have this happen. She is unhappy with the aforementioned rut that we're in and with the kind of people we have become. She is concerned that we are both inactive blobs that sit around too much, that my job is a dead end, and that the fact that I've begun drinking more and gaining more weight is a sign that our lives are in a downslide. She put a lot of blame on herself. She feels guilty that I have to bail her out and do most of the household work, and yet, at the same time, she shifted the blame on me, in so many words, to me, or rather the relationship itself, for being a crutch, basically enabling her to be lazy and financially irresponsible because I'm always there to help her out and do the things that need to be done. She also felt guilty that she was keeping me from playing more music, even though I had made my own choice about it. I had, at a time when I was more enthusiastic about jamming, expressed a desire for us to move closer to the city center for that purpose, but it simply hadn't been possible for us at that time. And as a few years passed, I chose to settle into a more casual approach to playing.
Oh my God, so they've been living together for years.
Yep.
Is that what I just heard?
Yep. I think so.
This is just my theory. This is my feeling on it. She's kind of seeing you go downhill in a way, so to speak. And instead of being like, all right, I'm going to try to uplift my partner out of this, she's kind of being like, ooh, that's not the guy I liked, so I'm going to back away.
Yeah.
And like, you know, after 6 years,
And also helping her pay off her debt.
and you helped her pay off her debt,
She said
you'd think that there'd be more.
Yeah.
There's a lot of issues,
Yeah, there's a lot of issues.
and
And I think they're being addressed. They're not breaking up. They're just being addressed. She says she recognizes that her shortcomings that are causing her distress, but she's convinced that she will be unable to improve herself within our current arrangement. She must be alone to prove that she can be independent and look after herself. I argue that there's nothing wrong with me being there to help her because that's what couples are meant to do, and that if she really wants to change her behavior, I can be a help rather than a hindrance. I pointed out that she is always broke, even with me covering expenses, so there's no way she would be able to keep up the condo if we were to separate. She believes otherwise. She thinks that covering all the expenses herself will force her to become more responsible. My instinct told me her reasoning is backwards, and I said so. She pushes me away. She'll only dig herself into another hole. I believe she has to find the change within herself while in a safe, supportive environment. Maybe she's right, but my own experiences prior to meeting her taught me that total independence is an illusion. In the broader sense, we modern humans are totally dependent on the society in which we live in, and the individual sense, turning down assistance, which is solely needed, only serves to pointless alienation from oneself from those who wish to help. I argued that what matters is how we behave when we receive assistance. On the other end of the spectrum, we can choose to use generosity as an excuse for complacency and become spoiled, always expecting a handout. On the correct end of the spectrum, we can be inspired by generosity and use it as an opportunity to better ourselves and eventually return or pay forward what we have given.
I feel like something's being talked around. I
feel circles.
There's something in the middle of all of this like jargon, which whatever, it has its place, but it's like, why are we talking about that?
Girl,
she
break up with him.
probably wants to break up and find someone else because she's not attracted to you anymore because you're depressed and drinking a lot and you aren't as physically appealing to her as you used to be.
Yep.
She doesn't want to say that to you. So she's saying all this other stuff.
Yeah.
But like, that's a reality sometimes. It's like, and it's informing.
Yeah.
It's like she's not wanting to lift you up out of this.
I don't like this. Ugh.
It's just like, yeah, she doesn't want to say the thing that would make her an undeniable bad guy in the situation.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't want to stick around while you're down and out. I want to go find greener pastures.
Let's keep reading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said that, for example, if I have the time to clean the kitchen, rather than feel guilty about it or accepting unequal situation as the norm, she should express her gratitude by cleaning the bathroom. But no, it seems there's no convincing her. She cannot see any other solution, and it appears I will be forced to accept it. It's funny. Neither of us grew up with the best role models to show us how to maintain a steady relationship. I was raised by a single mother who, while being intelligent and loving, was never able to maintain relationships with men for more than a year or two, probably due to the abuse she suffered as a young woman. My significant other's parents despised one another and fought consistently, and yet forced themselves to live under the same roof because they thought that it was the proper environment in which to raise two of their daughters. Her mother's solution to conflict would be to leave for a long period of time, but she would always come back, though not now that her kids are grown. Now my significant other is adopting the same strategy as her mother. Hold up now. She can't seem to recognize that the fact that she and I are able to set our emotions aside and discuss our concerns in a calm and rational way suggests that we and I have the potential to form a healthier relationship than our parents ever did. She is overcome with pessimism, and nothing I've said so far has changed her mind. Simply writing this novella of the post has helped me to organize my thoughts on the situation, but I would appreciate any advice you wacky internet strangers might be able to offer. And by the way, if you have any advice and you want to talk along with us, go to your favorite freaking podcast platform, Apple, iHeart, or Spotify, search up OK Storytime, and comment along. Just listen to it, press pause, say you were a little bit, press continue, and then you'll hear Dakota Spot or Keon Spot.
That's right.
Guys, we got an edit. I think she wants to break up with you.
Yeah.
And this guy is overthinking like crazy.
well, she doesn't want to be the bad guy. No one ever wants to be the bad guy. Is it suspicious that the ex-girlfriend had her house paid off, or that this girlfriend had the house paid off, and now she's like, I gotta like go find other guys?
Yeah.
That is a little suspicious, but there's other factors like OP's personality, and it's like, look, if people change, like 6 years is more than enough time for somebody to change, and they can change into a person that we're not quite as into as the person they were when we met them.
Let's read the update. After listening to the advice I received here and elsewhere, all of which seemed to echo the same sentiment, I went ahead and stopped resisting what I now realize to be the best course of action for both of us.
They breaking up.
Already knew it deep down, but I was afraid of the pain and emptiness that comes with a breakup. Thankfully, there's no anger or hatred between us, only love and compassion, which will make the transition a bit easier, though we are both currently drowning in highly complicated feelings. So they broke up?
Yeah, they're done. And that's the end, just like that?
I know you helped me pay off my credit card debt and pay my mortgage, but yeah, you should leave now.
But, also, just because someone did that for you does not mean that you're,
Entitled to
obligated to stay with them forever. However, it does feel like he's in like a really bad place. And instead of being like, all right, well, I'm going to like make sure we get through this. She's like, it's really looking like this is more than I want to chew on right now.
Okay.
So I think we should just, and then instead, but she's not putting it like that. She's trying to put it in the way where it's like, oh, it's this, who knows? And it's really me, but it's not me. It's like you and how I feel about you. And then that's me, but really it's you. And none of that got sorted out. And now you paid for her house and she's being like, I can't handle you at your worst. So goodbye.
Yeah, it's probably best that they both break up because they seem toxic for one another.